Beauty queens, my favorite season is around the corner. That's spring. That's skin tint season. Not a lot of people may know this. Maybe some of you do.
I didn't know this.
Seasonally, just like you switch out your closets, especially if you live in climates that change, like I do in New York. Seasonally, we switch out our closets and we bring in the lighter clothes. We bring in the lighter comforter. You bring out the bathing suits in the summer. You want to break out the skin tints in the spring. And some of you may be using skin tints all year round, and that's great. But for me personally, there's nothing better than a skin tint in the spring.
And that's why you really see a lot of skin tints launch in springs, right?
Exactly. Not a coincidence then that you're going to see a lot more skin tints launching in the spring and the summer. Milk has actually sponsored this educational video on skin tints because they have launched a brand new Hydro Grip gel tint. I was so excited to receive this a month ago because gels are my favorite format in the complexion category.
They really are.
I love a gel. I love a gel because it makes your skin look alive. So today, we're gonna teach you the difference between a gel skin tint, a stick skin tint like Fenty's Eavesdrop, an SPF skin tint like Supergoop's Protect Tint, and a non-SPF skin tint that has a really, really thin, almost like fluid lotion texture, Lisa Eldridge's Seamless Enhancing Skin Tint. The questions that we are gonna answer here today for you are surrounding whether or not you need a gel, you need a lotion, you need SPF, or maybe you need a stick. And the reality is you have the power to choose. So let's put the answer in your hands today through these amazing split face evaluations that we're gonna do. What is a split face evaluation? Quick recap. It means we're gonna lay down our new benchmark gel tint, which no one has tried yet, except for me, because I'm one of the only people that have it. As of the time of recording this video, at least. Many of you will hopefully get to try this. It's a really exciting texture for me. They did a beautiful job with this base. So we're gonna have this base on one side of our face the entire video, and then Fenty's gonna make a cameo, Supergoop's gonna make a cameo, and Lisa Eldridge is gonna make a cameo. We're gonna compare all three of these to the new Gel Grip Tint. It should come as no surprise to all of you that Milk would launch a Gel Grip Tint from their Hydro Grip franchise based on the success of the Hydro Grip Primer. In fact, I would have been shocked if this wasn't in the Hydro Grip family. So you need to start making those connections. If you love Hydro Grip Primer, think about the number one attribute that drives it, right? The number one thing that drives Hydro Grip is adhesion, hold. And a lot of people struggle with the fact that skin tints sometimes don't necessarily wear as long or as well as foundations do because skin tints are designed to be thinner and lighter. So usually when they're designed to be thinner and lighter, they don't have what we call these long-wearing polymers. In this case, Milk wanted to solve one of the biggest pain points of skin tint for you by making a long-wearing, gripping, comfortable, low to medium buildable coverage tint. And here it is. Look at the sheen as I spread this product. And you'll notice, if this was a lotion, it would have been absorbing into my skin a bit more. And you'll watch that happen when I lay Lisa Eldridge down next to this. If this was a stick, it would have more coverage, right? Because it has that wax in there, which you'll see with the Fenty. So what I'm feeling right now is the sensation of a gel. It's not slimy, but it definitely has slip, glide, movement, right? But my favorite thing about this gel is how alive it looks on the skin. And also, it doesn't feel heavy, but it's still cushioning my face and it still feels hydrating, rich, and comforting. Now, for all my makeup artists out there, or for all my people that maybe aren't the biggest fans of silicone, this is actually a silicone-free formula. They've used 3 interesting style ingredients in here to drive the silicone smooth feel, but no silicone heaviness on skin whatsoever. And more importantly, right, they've built this to grip and hold. I do love how skin-like and alive it looks and feels. Let's go right in with our comparison to Miss Fenty Eavesdrop Skin Tint. One of my favorite skin tints as of the filming of this video, because things always change, right? Glide and go. Okay? A little bit like a different tonality, but when I spread her, she is gonna spread to a different color on skin. Important to know, especially if you're shopping for sticks. So because of the wax-based structure, you're gonna notice less sheen immediately. Look how this blends and melts. Now look at especially the finish. Do I have the same glow? Is it spreading as easily? What spreads faster? Questions the best product developers ask themselves. And remember I promised you this is gonna blend out and it would look good on my skin tone? There it is. I promised and I didn't lie. Fenty is definitely something that is designed to blur a little bit more. So you will see more of that blurred out finish in the stick. You'll see similar level of coverage. Fenty does not have a really long wearing property inside this stick in the way that Milk's new Hydro Grip was designed to wear for you by gripping the skin with a little bit of this like tack to hold it to the skin. Number one driver, right, that you should look at right now to even begin thinking about what direction you're gonna go in for skin tint is, do I like the finish of Fenty or do I like the finish of Milk? And you get to answer that, because I love them both for different reasons. Milk has a glow. I look alive. I look radiant. We can always hit this with powder and we can always hit this with a different primer. We can always hit this with Fenty's new You Mist and get a radiance veil on top of our stick. You are in control. You are the orchestrator of your own complexion style.
So when would you go for which?
I would go for Milk if I want more performance and wear and more glow. And I would go for Fenty if I wanted something that was faster to use and perhaps a little bit easier to lay down, because you do have to spread and work the Milk in. We're now gonna go in, beauty queens. We're gonna take our Bioderma. We're gonna take a clean skin cleansing cloth. These are really great because they're not abrasive on the skin. We're gonna remove our Fenty and then lay down our Laneige Cream Skin and try our Supergoop on so you can see. Laneige Cream Skin has been laid down. We have to wait and make sure the skin is dry and ready to receive. We are going to go in with a comparison now of Hydro Grip Gel Tint and Supergoop Protect Tint. If you're looking to shop for a skin tint and you want SPF, you need to look for it right on the pack. It will tell you it has SPF. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna start this up. I'm using my Toddle. Remember, what's a Toddle?
Bottle in a tube.
Tube, jumbo needle nose, baby needle nose. All of this is about evacuating. But notice that at the end, they have the same evacuation hole. You should immediately see the texture of this looks different. I'll even do a demo here on my arm quickly. The texture of Hydro Grip looks a little bit more gel-like. I could see lotion, I could see gel, and I could see the movement down my arm. That's, again, just more of a product development tip as you're thinking. The number one thing that is gonna be different about this formula is the fact that it has an SPF in it. It's also loaded with ingredients like ectoin that are really soothing and hydrating and multi-benefit. So a little bit different in terms of how it spreads. Take note of the spread. This happens to be a fantastic base made by one of my favorite people in the industry. You know who you are. Now, specific to this base, you're gonna notice that the absorption is totally different. This is absorbing into the skin as opposed to gripping it and laying with this radiant glow on top. Now, that is not to say that we're not gonna get a little bit of a glow sheen from Supergoop, because we are. But once again, the level of glow, the level of radiance, the level of grip and performance is going to be different. Now, I've worn these. I've had this Milk product for over a month and I've put her to the test. I've worn this more times than I could count last summer. What's important to note here is that in our comparison of Hydro Grip to Supergoop, if SPF is the number one thing you're concerned about and you want to get it out of your tint, the Milk does not have sun protection. So definitely drive your decision, if that's important to you, via that lens. You still always have to layer SPF anyway, for sure. This is a very strong SPF 50 though, and it's solid, but you still should always layer SPF. Who has more sheen? Who has more gripping technology? We know that Milk, and I'm gonna reiterate this, out of all these skin tints, has the most long-wearing properties built into this base. It's that adhesion. It's how they crafted the base to hold onto the skin. It's also part of what's giving it this radiance and this glow. Do we love the neutral, gentle sheen of Supergoop's tint, or do we prefer a higher voltage sheen that we're getting glow from our Hydro Grip? For me, it's definitely gonna be an occasion that's gonna determine which one I prefer. There is absolutely use for my Supergoop at the beach, 1000%, pool, party, things of that nature. But that doesn't mean that you cannot layer an SPF under your Milk Hydro Grip Gel Tint if you want to. We have one more evaluation, which is the Lisa Eldridge Enhancing Skin Tint. It's gonna have a little bit more coverage than what you're gonna see here out of Supergoop, and I know this again because I've worn these many times. Supergoop is a little bit lower coverage too in comparison to Milk. If that's something that's important to you, coverage, keep that in mind when you're shopping. Bioderma, baby. Let's get her off and let's get Lisa on. Lisa Eldridge. The minute that you see Shake Well on a formula, that means she's thin, and that means we're really inviting this emulsion to come back together to a party that we're about to have on our face.
Sounds juicy.
It is juicy. She's running a race. Look at her. We're going to the races, everyone. Are you ready? There's milk. Who's going to win the race? Gel, right? Lotion, texture-wise. This has more body, more thickness, more viscosity. Also, look at how much warmer milk looks in comparison to Lisa. But on my skin, you're still gonna see how Lisa's spreads really beautifully. We're gonna go right in. This is a really aqueous base. Aqueous means it's water-like almost because it's so thin. So if that sounds appealing to you, you need to consider that in your buying choice. Meaning, this is the finished texture of anything that we've tried on our skin today. I know this is looking a little bit, what we call in product development land, a little dirty, but this does blend out into the skin, I promise, as it dries down. So because it's more aqueous, I would always prefer to use a brush when I use this type of a formula, but because I want to keep the evaluation same as, and we've used our hands all the way through, I'm going to continue to use my hands. So Lisa has higher coverage than our Supergoop. I would say the most natural looking skin-like finish of the three things that we put on this side of our face today in terms of also delivering coverage. Lisa does not have SPF comparison to Supergoop and in comparison to Hydro Grip. And Lisa also does not have that level of sheen. Now what Lisa Eldridge does give us in the seamless skin, again, really neutral, very comfortable wear. It is nourishing, it is moisturizing. This is a fantastic option for you if you want a neutral finish. If you're someone that's really oily and even powder won't save you, maybe it's a nice idea to go in this direction. But if you're someone that's really, really dry, you're gonna benefit from the Hydro Grip and this level of sheen, and it won't even look this sheeny on you. In the true spirit of full evaluation, we just left these bases bare, but I would love to show you what the Hydro Grip would look like if I were to lay down a little bit of loose powder on top. You'll notice that the second you hit this product with powder, you're still seeing sheen, which is what I love about it. And you're even blurring out a little bit. The number one reason for you to go out and explore the new Hydro Grip Gel Tint is if you're looking for a longer wearing skin tint than anything you probably own right now. Really radiant, fresh base. Skin looks alive. Glowy, great for dry skin. Number one reason you should shop a Supergoop Protectant or Explore and Swatch would be if you're interested in an SPF skin tint. Number one reason you should go with Lisa Eldridge is if you're looking for the thinnest possible base on the market with a neutral finish. Really fantastic for all skin types, still gonna deliver moisture, will give decent performance, but is not gonna wear as long as the Hydro Grip in terms of the fact that the Hydro Grip was built with that adhesive property. And the number one reason you should go for a stick is if you want the easiest product of the bunch to apply. Fast, simple, effective. Blend it out, brush, finger, whatever works for you. Take it on the go. And ultimately also delivering a neutral finish, but not as long of a wear compared to our Supergoop or our Milk. And in terms of Fenty versus Lisa, thin, aqueous, a little harder to work with. Again, easiest product of the four to work with. I guess we owe Milk a little round of applause. What do you think? Woo! Great job on bringing a new style gel base to market. I really look forward to hearing about which one of all of our beauty queens decided to go in what direction, why, and what you learned maybe from this video. Thank you so much, beauty queens. We'll see you next time.